Hi, it's Evelyn Arevalo for Tasmanian.com. How many Starlink users can a single Starlink satellite support?
So in this context for this application, we're talking about roughly 2 to 4 megabits per cell zone. So it depends on how many people are in that cell zone. You divide that bandwidth by the number of people in the cell zone and who are using it simultaneously. So what that since a voice call is about 2 kilobits, that's 1 to 2,000 simultaneous voice calls, or there's hundreds of thousands of text messages that could be sent depending on the length of the text message.
Thank you.
We have some coming in while you're coming to the stage. We have some coming in from online.
New booster released without testing. Veteran assistance. Redact, redact, redact. And we want to pay more taxes, said no one ever. It is Monday, August 29th, 7:04 a.m. This is Good Morning Brownsville, and my name is Frankie Olivo. Now, I know you're tired of hearing this. This is something that we have to live with, it seems, for the very near future. The pandemic was a time that caused a lot of deaths, havoc, depression in throughout the world. And what we have seen is that what we once thought of the COVID-19 variant to be contained hasn't gone according to plan. Many individuals were sold on the idea of taking vaccines, and everybody that believes in medicine, all heard of herd immunity. The idea that if a large population, a large percentage of individuals in the community were vaccinated, that they would be immune or wouldn't go through the variant without the vaccine. One could be able to withstand uh, the struggles the body goes through whenever that person is infected. What we have seen has been the total opposite. We have seen how the variant has mutated, and individuals who have taken the first, the second, and the booster shot are now being told that there is a possibility that we are going to have to take another booster. Now, here in Cameron County, we have been monitoring the situation and have been seeing the increase of hospitalizations in Cameron County. Hidalgo County recently reported uh, close to 800 positive cases. Now, what does that lead us to believe? Well, that we are far from being out of that safe zone that we all thought. Remember, if you get a vaccine, if you wear your mask, you'll be fine. You won't get this virus again. We have heard even the president and first lady how they have gotten COVID and then rebound COVID shortly after that. Well, we were reading how this latest COVID booster shot, it will be released before it is tested on humans. Now, during the pandemic, there was such a pressing need, as we can all agree. The world was at a standstill. People were dying left and right for the masses to get this vaccine. And we saw the FDA do things unprecedented. Again, we lived during uncertain times, and many protocols were overlooked because of an emergency of having this depression, of having this pandemic of the depression. But the normal protocol is that medicine is tested, and there's a thorough investigation review of how that human reacts. Is it successful? Do we need more to amp up the dosage? Do we need to lay off the dosage? Clinical trials are very important during these vaccination process because it leads the scientists, medical professionals, give them an idea of what they're working with and how that medicine, that vaccine, will have an effect on the human body. Well, the latest COVID booster shot is being tested on rats on animals and not on humans. Now, you and I can agree that many individuals, they feel the need for vaccines, and we encourage each and every person listening to us. You do whatever it takes to make sure that you and your household are safe. Many people here in the Rio Grande Valley have underlying conditions, our Mexican heritage, unfortunately, our diet, our lack of exercise. Uh, we are more prone to having underlying conditions, which greatly affects and contributes to even more complications if an individual has COVID. But one thing that we can agree on, and we have seen from Cameron County, is a large percentage of individuals that have gotten vaccinated, not once, not twice, some people even 3 or 4 times with those boosters. But it is alarming to note throughout the world how cases are starting to see the complications of these vaccines. In Thailand, over 300 people, they found a heart rhythm change. And after a second dosage, 1 in 6 teenagers, they did have these complications. Now, again, the importance of testing. Testing is very necessary. Why? Because it leads the medical professionals and it guides them to see whether they're on the right track or not. Is there an importance to having our vaccines clinically tested? And the interesting thing is that the FDA will be approving a new booster shot, the COVID-19 booster, this week. And this is even before it is tested on humans. And the new boosters, they are similar to the previous COVID vaccines that are currently available throughout the U.S. BISD even rolled out how they plan on giving, if they haven't already, vaccines for children. Now, instead of waiting on data for testing on humans, the FDA is feeling the urgency to get things out. And they will use the trials on mice instead of men. Now, again, individuals feel the need to protect themselves. And we are in support of science and medicine. But it seems as if the government wants to try and put things in your body without going through the proper protocol. Again, everybody is free and able to do with their body as they wish. These new boosters that will be sent out to the masses have not been tested on humans. It seems as if every variant that comes out, every virus, in today's society, today's world, we're going to have to take a new shot, a new vaccine, a new booster. Are you comfortable with taking something that clinical trials haven't been done on humans? They've been done on mice. And we have those individuals, ay, pues tú eres un animal. What difference does it make? Are you comfortable with having a vaccine that hasn't been tested on humans? Are you comfortable with the data, the clinical trials that is being collected from the FDA, that it's going to be from mice, not humans? That is the predicament that many individuals find themselves in when the government comes to us again, and they will be announcing this week. So pay close attention. Are you comfortable with having vaccines that haven't been tested on humans? Is this a money grab, Manny? Is this a way for billionaires to get rich just how they did during the pandemic? It is something that we need to get familiar with. Know what's in the vaccine. Is this in your best interest for you and your household to do so? And if that is, make sure you set up your appointment. I don't want to alarm my community, because every time I get off the tube, I always have my friends message me, "Ah, me asustando la gente, bro, cálmate." No, by no means. We just want to present the information to the community. We're not here to convince nobody. We present the white and the black, and we expect that our community, for they themselves, to decipher on what's good and bad for them and for their families. That is the role of Good Morning Brownsville. It is not my job to shove something down your throat. We present the white and the black, and you, my friends, are the ones that are able, or supposed to navigate and dictate and find out what is in the best interest of you on any given topic. Now, midterm elections are coming up, and politics, it seems, around this time, politics is always brutal. But the closer we get to November, it seems as if everything is being thrown out of the kitchen table. Just recently, we got the unsealed information, the unsealed redacted search warrant that was issued on Mar-a-Lago and President Trump's home in Florida. And one thing that many individuals have questioned has been transparency. Where is the government transparent on this issue? Many Republicans have stated that the Democrats are using the Department of Justice, the FBI in particular, of weaponizing and using this to their advantage to target an opponent, to target somebody who they feel, according to the polls, and you know how people love them polls. According to the polls, the president right now is currently, President Biden is currently at a 44% approval rating, which I don't believe in polls, ladies and gentlemen. You and I know that polls are paid, whether that's through a blogger or through some university or some third party. Polls are bought. I do not feel as if Joe Biden has a 44%. I would say it's closer to the high 20s, early 30 percentile. But nonetheless, the Democrats have been accused of raiding President Trump's home and using this to their advantage. Now, was there laws broken? Is there classified documents that some have stated that include the atomic bomb? Was there information on CIA agents that could possibly harm those in the line of field? It seems as if this witch hunt, as many have claimed, have only strengthened the Republicans. They have now even more convinced that are saying our country is at jeopardy. We have seen how individuals have taken power into their own hands and have used it for their own benefit. Here we have President Trump. President Trump's statement regarding the redacted Mar-a-Lago documents that were taken. Make America great again. And let's talk about real quick the progress, how we've gotten here. Back in January, they did retrieve 15 boxes from Mar-a-Lago, and each month they came back. According to the Republicans and President Trump's camp, they have stated, hey, we have been complying. This is just a publicity stunt. Now, are Americans really, do we really care about missing documents, missing information? Is there an importance to preserve these documents? Now, there is a law that the United States should be in control or possess those documents for security purposes. We could all understand that. But is this being blown out of proportion? Is this the Democrats' last chance of getting into the White House? Because what have they done, essentially? They haven't done much of anything. But where is the transparency in all this? Redacted pages, over 21 redacted pages of information were released to the public. Where is the transparency in all of this? Do we have to redact everything? Is there a need to go this far? Is the Democrats, are they using each and everything in their arsenal to try and prevent the Republicans from regaining power in office? Again, midterm elections is very important. Looking at it from Washington's perspective, they're hell-bound on controlling the House and the Senate through midterm elections. If they control midterm elections, that gives them the strength towards the general election, which right after November, the general election kicks in full force. These politicos are very aware that if they're able to secure a victory this coming November, it will lead them to gain momentum to the general election. All these redacted information, are they being used against our will? Are we seeing firsthand how people are taking advantage of our Department of Justice and taking advantage of the system because they are empowered? That is something. That is something that we have to ask ourselves. While the country is dealing with inflation, border security, the main importance that the Democrats have shown 90 days out from election has been documents. Now, again, were laws broken? We're not here to argue that. But you and I can agree. Do we care about documents? Now, there is that, national security. Yes, and I don't want to sound un-American when I say, hey, they're just documents. But they want to throw everything in the kitchen sink to make Trump look bad, to guarantee the Democrats 4 more years. Should we allow our government to use the weaponry of law enforcement, of a judicial branch? Have we seen this here locally? Let's believe it. But again, that is something that we need to ask ourselves. Are we okay with our government using this to their advantage to try and gain 4 more years for themselves? Now, here at Good Morning Brownsville, we always try our very best to bring awareness. We have made a commitment that we will be bringing a lot more awareness towards Kimberly Avila, a community member of ours who is part of the LGBTQ community, who has been missing for the past 5 or 6 years. That is something that is very dear to our heart. We will continue as much as possible, maybe once a month, to bring more awareness and keep her name in our everyday lives, because at the end of the day, a mother, a family is still missing their loved one. And also, another part of Good Morning Brownsville is that we want to bring awareness towards our veterans, those individuals that made the ultimate sacrifice, that did something that you and I would never do, and enlist in the military and serve our country. It is sad to report, and this is something that we have talked about previously, that here at Harlingen, here locally at our local VA clinic, it was ranked one of the worst in the state of Texas. Out of 5 stars, the VA clinic received a 1 and it went up to a 2. Now, this was years ago, and we have yet to receive any progress or any news of progress regarding the care. It seems as if our veterans, we're so quick to arm them, to teach them, to get them out on the front lines, and then when they come back home, we're not able to provide them that assistance, that care, that counseling, that guidance that they so desperately need. And what we have seen personally from our family members, from our friends, from our loved ones, is that many struggle. Many of our veterans struggle with getting acclimated back to their 8 to 5 job, or to find an 8 to 5 job. It seems as if their comfort is out in the battlefield, is out with their comrades, instead of being out working. We need to do a better job of bringing awareness, because these individuals, they have great needs. Some have economical needs, but many of them have psychological needs. We're glad to report that our Congresswoman, Mayra Flores has been actively and diligently working with individuals in Harlingen at the VA clinic to try and present opportunity and assistance more than anything for our veterans. Again, this is an area, a target, a group of individuals that once they come home, it's very difficult for them to get acclimated and to get the resources. Also, also a veteran, we're proud to announce that our friend Richard Hitchcock, he wants to do a fishing tournament for veterans with PTSD and other disabilities. They will be able to go out fishing. This would also, and he's asking for the community's help, local fishing groups, local business owners, and those interested in supporting this cause. And Mr. Uh, Hitchcock, he is a retired U.S. Sergeant with the U.S. Army for over 22 years of service. And he wants to give back. He wants to be part of a group that pays attention to the needs and wants of our disabled veterans. If anybody is interested in donating either their time, money to this cause, we encourage everyone to contact Richard Hitchcock at 956 371 7146. This is a great initiative for our veterans to go out and have some fun, go out fishing. Again, we do have a very pressing need for our individuals to be able, our veterans more in particular, our veterans to be able to receive the services. And many don't understand the importance of camaraderie, of how much they need this in their everyday lives. And an event such as this would really help them move forward. Again, we did present how Congressman Mayra Flores was in Harlingen speaking with the representatives at the Veterans Clinic. And she has also posted on social media that if any veterans need any sort of assistance of any kind from any agency, to contact her office directly, 956 929 4948. There is a pressing need for us to diligently work with our uh, veterans. Congresswoman Mayra Flores, she did vote on passing the Paul Act, which this law that went into effect, this will ensure that the veterans who are exposed to toxic hazards during their military service, that they will be eligible to receive medical care and need for each and every person. Now, Mayra Flores is doing her job. Congressman Mayra Flores is doing her job in reaching out. Let's see what we can do with our VA clinic. Let's see what we can do for our veterans. Again, veterans, if you do need help, if you are calling certain agencies and you're not getting through, contact Mayra Flores' office. She has made herself available, and she wants the community to reach out. Once again, that number is 956 929 4948. This is something that our community together we can work to try and assist our fellow veterans. Again, our friend Richard Hitchcock is wanting to organize a fishing expedition, a fishing day for our veterans. If anybody's interested, please go ahead and contact him. We'll go ahead and post the link shortly after this broadcast. If anybody's interested in assisting veterans, assisting this cause with either money or their time, make sure you contact Richard Hitchcock. We will be sure to post this information shortly after this broadcast. Good morning, Mr. President. Thank you for your time and your attention. Hope you have a great day, sir. Now, we all want to pay taxes, said no one ever. In a time of crisis, in a time right now where individuals are going through troubling times, I would dare say, it seems as if life is getting more expensive. We are recently just starting to not pay as much in gas, but rent is through the roof, eggs, milk, our consumer goods are getting more expensive. Our appraisal values recently went up because of the likes of SpaceX. You and I can agree. Many of us, I'll speak for myself, we're living paycheck to paycheck. Most of Americans living today are struggling. Now, during the time in which we find ourselves in, and many anticipate and have stated that if we aren't already, the United States is on a path towards recession. And during a time when there is need, financial need, when we have no jobs, it seems as if the government, our local government, always finds a way to screw us. But the interesting part, ladies and gentlemen, is that our own local government, which is Cameron County, has decided to raise taxes. Now, we will show the reasons behind them having to raise taxes is because they haven't balanced the budget, because they themselves have benefited from it, and they themselves have been spending like crazy. But because of their screw ups, because of their ups, we are the ones that are going to have to pay. Currently, right now, Cameron County find themselves in a $5 to $6 million deficit. Many economists that I've spoken to, many money numbers people have even stated that once it's all said and done, that deficit might go even closer to 8, possibly 10 million down the road. Now, our county mismanaged our money. They did not go according to the books. It seems as if they were on a shopping spree, on a spending spree. And again, we need to drill this. We need to drill this every time we get, because the media is not presenting this. You don't see this on KBEO, Channel 4, Channel 5, on the blogs. People forget about this. The reasons, one of the main reasons why Cameron County find themselves in a $5 to $6 million deficit is because our Cameron County Commissioners Court, they themselves got a raise in the hundreds of thousands of dollars during the pandemic, ladies and gentlemen. And I will state it again: who during the pandemic got a raise? Who during the pandemic saw X amount of dollars during a time when nobody was hiring? Cameron County wants to raise your taxes because they gave themselves a raise. How do you feel about that? Do you think it's justified that we are at fault because of the fault of a few? Over 350 residents of Cameron County will have to pay higher taxes. Let's not forget how else we found ourselves in. We've been in litigation. We've been suing our Cameron County sheriff. As soon as he took office, there was an ego challenge between the commissioner's court and our sheriff, and that led to constant litigation. You and I know litigation lawsuits are not cheap. Just last week, we spoke about how the county is trying to save money. They are going with the option of giving their employees an opportunity to go to Mexico to receive health care. Now, once again, and y'all don't believe me, but my friends really do call me, reach out to me, and text me, "Hey, bro, we got to talk about this, man." Or, "Are you getting paid?" You know, you're kind of biased. I'm like, "No, I'm not." You and I can agree. Are they good doctors in Mexico? They're great doctors. But we are fortunate enough to have a few dentists in our as friends and family. I think the world of the medical professionals. But my issue is quality of care. The United States, we can agree, is number one in quality of care. But the reasons behind me being so skeptical about this is what our Cameron County commissioner stated. Commissioner Joey Lopez, he did state that it is going to cost the county $14 million in health insurance for its employees. And that figure does not include the claims. Now, apart from there being fraud, if each client, if each employee is given $9,000, don't you think the doctor in Mexico is going to take him for all he's got, take him to the cleaners? That's one fraud. But $14 million, not including the claims, that is what resonates with me. While my friends were bashing me and saying, hey, bro, Mexico has great quality of service, health-wise. Yeah, you may be right. But my issue is a $14 million pie. I want that $14 million pie, that money, to stay here in Cameron County. Many individuals stated, oh, now it's a problem because it affects doctors. When it affects doctors, it's a problem. When it affects the small person, it's not a problem. Everyone knows that here at Good Morning Brownsville, we are big proponents of David versus Goliath, whether that be at the city or at the county level. We believe in the people, and we want our community to know that we're fighting together as a community against the politicals, against PUB, against those things that just don't make sense. My issue here is Cameron County is trying to save money because of their F-ups, of them giving themselves job raises, of them having to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars in litigation fees. I don't want that $14 million pie to go to Mexico. I want that $14 million pie to stay in Brownsville. That's my issue. That's why they're trying to save money. Who can forget the arena? The arena they were shoving down our throats not once but twice. And this arena, ladies and gentlemen, at first they calculated, oh, it's going to be $30 million. Oh, it's going to be $60 million. The final projected number we got was $100 million. Now, if the county was in a deficit currently right now of $5 to $6 million, how will we find ourselves in with a $100 million arena? We saw how the community came out and voted narrowly voted against. And now, ladies and gentlemen, your Cameron County Commissioners Court, because of their F-ups, they want to raise taxes. Those in support of this endeavor are our county judge, Eddie Trevino, Commissioner Precinct 1, Sophie Benavides, and Precinct 2 Commissioner Joey Lopez. The only one that did abstain or was absent was Justice Reese. It doesn't mention about Commissioner Garza, which is very, very interesting. But because of the F-ups of our Cameron County Commissioners Court, we, the people, have to take the burden of paying higher taxes. Now, one could argue and say, hey, having higher taxes is great because you need money for different services and things like that, the public roads and things like that. But if we would have taken care of our books, if we would have balanced the budget, if we would have been fiscally responsible with our money, we wouldn't have a need to go to the people and say, you raise your taxes. Are we hearing this on Channel 5, Channel 4, on KVEO, Channel 23? Or is this the first time you hear that we're going to get our taxes raised? Why isn't the media blasting this? Because the incumbents don't want you to know, ladies and gentlemen, that they, because of their screw-ups, we the people, we the community, are having to pay the piper. Doesn't that upset you? These individuals, these incumbents, they want you, they want your vote. But all they could tell you is, well, I find myself in a $5 million deficit. I gave myself a raise. I try to force an arena down your throat. I have defunded our Cameron County Sheriff's Department, but I want 4 more years. Oh, by the way, I'm raising your taxes. Sucker. Now, hopefully, that is what our Cameron County Commissioners Court is telling us. Again, we should treat our politicals just how they treat corporate America. Have you produced? What are your numbers? How can I, in good faith, go to my people and say, vote for me because I put you in a $5 million deficit? Vote for me because I raised your taxes. Vote for me because I tried to shove the arena not once but twice. Vote for me because I have defunded the police. Ladies and gentlemen, if this is what you want from your elected officials, this is something that we are going to have to face in November. Is it okay for us to turn a blind eye and say, yes, you pinned us down, you let us have it, but it's okay, you get 4 more years? we should be very protective, very jealous of our vote. It is important for us to remind the politicos, hey, you work for me. You work for me, the community. What have we seen from our local elected officials? Being so brave, having an ego challenge with our sheriff. They want to force an arena of $100 million down your throat. How much more in a deficit will we have been? Cameron County Commissioners Court will be announcing that they will be having a raise in taxes because of their efforts. November is coming around, and those same individuals will be asking for your vote. What would you say to them? What would you say to me? You come to me. I say, frankly, I give you all the faith in the world in you. Let's see what you can do. I come back and I say, I lost your money, $5 million in the hole, and plus that you have to pay more taxes. You'd say, frankly, that, my friends, is the rest of the story. Redact, redact, redact. Are the Democrats weaponizing the Department of Justice by utilizing the FBI? 21 pages of the search warrant that was released is redacted. They are claiming that highly sensitive information and witnesses' testimony was redacted because they want to preserve investigation. Or is this a way for Democrats to gain 4 more years? New booster shots are being released without human testing. The FDA, the FDA is going on clinical trials done on mice. Are you okay with putting something in your body that you haven't seen or heard in the clinical trials that were on humans? That is a decision that you're going to have to make very soon. Veteran assistance. Here at Good Morning Brownsville, we will be strong proponents, and continue to be strong proponents of Kimberly Avila, LGBT community who has been missing for 5 or 6 years, and also we will be a big proponent of our veterans, which we think the world of. We have a veteran himself, Richard Hitchcock, who does want to organize a fishing trip expedition for our disabled veterans. There's a way for them to get out, get some rays, and enjoy the camaraderie. Once again, if you're interested, I'll be sure to repost the post. If anyone's interested to donate money, donate their time, it is a great endeavor. Also, we're thankful to have Congresswoman Mayra Flores, who recently last week was in Harlingen at the VA clinic, extending her hand, being accessible to her community. That is something that we so desperately need. And she herself has volunteered and stated if any veteran needs any assistance with any federal agency, if they're giving you the runaround, they're hanging up on you, make sure you contact our Congresswoman Mayra Flores. I'll be sure once again to post her number, her office number, so we can get that out to anyone who needs assistance, in particular our veterans. We want to pay more taxes, said no one ever. Cameron County Commissioners will be raising taxes because of their F-ups. They give themselves a raise. They have been fighting in litigation, which is very expensive with our Cameron County Sheriff's Department. They're trying to shove an arena down our throats. Now they're coming to us because of their screw-ups. Now they're coming to us. And they're letting us know they will be raising taxes because they have $5 to $6 million in the deficit. They have not been able to balance the budget. Then again, they want 4 more years. Are you willing to give them 4 more years? If they got us in a $5 million deficit, you want whenever they leave for us to be in a $10 million deficit? The choice is yours, ladies and gentlemen. Who will you vote for? Do you vote for incumbents who have pillared and stolen and taken and emptied out the coffers? Or you want individuals who will come in, be fiscally responsible with their money, the likes of Erasmo Castro, the likes of Carlos Castro. And that, my friends, is the rest of the story. Thank you so much for your time and your attention. I appreciate each and every one of you. It is Monday, 7:42 a.m. I will not be here on Wednesday. I have to be in McAllen. I heard that McAllen traffic or the commute over there is pretty crazy, so I want to leave like at 6:30. I have an event, a training that I do need to attend. I thought about doing a show in the car, but I always want to produce the best production. Always want to put on the best show for my community. I think it's very important for me to do so. I will take a break on Wednesday. due to a training, but I will be back here on Friday, September. I'm going to be crazy busy, but I'm going to try and stay plugged in on the tube with you as much as possible. So see you all here on Friday. Thanks so much for your time and your attention. Hope you all have a great day. Let's